What's up, everybody? It's the Red Line Radio. Talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. And today we are talking about One Piece episode 1135, To the Sea Where My Father Is. The Future Bonney Chooses. Long title, as usual. Spoiler, as usual. One Piece styles are crazy. You could just read the title of every episode. You get the story. You get the gist of it. But yeah, Bonnie sets sail. She has a crew now. She has the Bonnie Pirates. And how did we get here? So basically, that's what the whole actual flashback is. How did Bonnie get here? You know what I mean? We already got to how Kuma got here, but it's how did Bonnie get here? Getting crushed within the grasp of Saturn, bones breaking, all the blood rushing to her eyeballs and brain. So don't forget where we are while all this is happening. With that being said, Kev, take this.
And don't forget, Bonnie just recently came in contact with a lot of Kuma's memories. This could all be stuff that is now inside of her head. Like, she could be seeing Luffy through Kuma's eyes in these flashbacks. So we really don't know, I don't think.
Yeah, because it's a fresh exposure to her. And she saw his whole life flash before her eyes from his perspective. So it's
we jumped back to God Valley originally. Yeah. So it's like 38 years ago versus 3 years ago. It's pretty...
Yeah, so right now, if she's dying and they say your whole life flashes before your eyes, she has two lives that have flashed before her eyes. So it's like double context.
But we're back in the Goa Kingdom. It's 3 years ago, 1 year before Luffy sets sail, and he's training. He's training, but he's just beating up loose animals in the village. But Kuma's here as well as Dragon is in the area.
It was like an alligator and tiger in the forest. The thing I like about Luffy is no matter where he is going to befriend the animals, but he ain't friends with the animals until they're friendly. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to start some shit, we can start some shit. But hey, once we cool, we can just wrestle all we want. You know what I mean? I'll make sure you know I'm the king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
I just watched this episode because I'm rewatching Thriller Bark. He comes across the Cerberus. And he's like so friendly with the Cerberus. He's like, "Oh, what nice teeth you have," because it bites him. And he's like, "Okay, let go of Uncle Luffy." And then he's like, "And sit!" And then he punches it into the wall.
Yeah, then it's all like,
all right, bro, like, this is crazy.
After that, it knows how to act. But yeah, Luffy's always been that one. But yeah, we see from Kuma's perspective where he's watching Luffy train. When he's 16 years old, he's sharpening his battle axe technique. And this is what he defeats Arlong with. So he was right. He is going to need it when he sets off to defeat pirates. But very cool. Get to see Luffy train.
Yeah, and then, I mean, this is where Kuma kind of brings it up like, "Wow, hey, Dragon, I saw a kid over here. Kind of looks exactly like you." And he's like, "Kuma, shut the fuck up. You're going to get me killed." Like, if they find out who he is, they're going to come after him. They're not going to come after me. And we've seen this. They couldn't kill Roger twice, so they went after his son after going after his mother. It's like, it's very simple. It's, yeah.
But that's the thing, too. It's like, he's like, I'm not trying to get comfortable talking about this. I'm not trying to slip up. Don't make me talk about this. I ain't trying to talk about my family. Like, just, come on, man. Let's just talk about work. He's like, all right, my bad, bro. My bad.
I clock in the same as you.
Yeah.
Clock in the same as you.
But yeah, just a little pre-time skip Luffy action. His battle axe, you do see the old type of stretching he did, where it kind of like whips around at the end. It's like not as refined as he attacks now, so you can see why it wasn't as strong, but it's still plenty strong. The dude can stomp and like crush the ground. So pre-time skip Luffy still was one of them ones. So I guess pre-time skip Bonney was too, but we'll get more over to that. But yeah, Kuma he's going through the last year before he gets turned into like a cyborg completely. He's talking to people about it. He's writing letters to Bonney. He's still saving as many people as he can. And, yeah. I think this is when Bonney sees that he's been writing letters. Like, she didn't know or something like that.
No, Bonnie never finds out. Bonnie never finds out that he's been writing letters, unless in the memory bubble she sees it. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay,
Yes.
he was. If that's what you meant, yes. This is where like she would finally get the realization that like he was writing letters. We later find out it was like twice a week,
Yeah.
like, or twice a month or some shit like that. I forget exactly, but
Pretty often.
a hell of a lot. Yeah. I mean, writing letters. You didn't write letters every single day. It wasn't text messages, which is something that we have to forget. It's not that.
And this is the same girl that's sitting in like the quiet room crying by herself because she's like, my dad forgot about me. You know what I mean? Like, you said you'd be back, you ain't back. And then come to find out, a couple years later, you find out this dude was writing you every other week. Them shits was getting shredded.
It's 10 letters a month.
Every other day.
Every other day. That's every 3 days. This motherfucker.
No weekends. I don't write on the weekend.
I don't. That's crazy. So I mean, but then you get Alpha's just rude. I mean, obviously, I don't know if this was a direct order, or if this was just for the love of the game type shit. Like she just hates kids. Like
she's the nurse.
Like, yeah.
What's her name again?
Her name's Alpha. I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. And then like we find out like she's just. I think the story behind this is that this was not the assignment she wanted. She's just a bodyguard. She's acting as a nurse. She's not really a nurse. She's just a bodyguard who administers a daily dose. And she doesn't want to be here. She wants to be somewhere else.
Hey, I mean,
so
look, we know she got a sister. You got a sister working for Ice Pops at Water 7, the secretary of the head person at Water 7. And then you over here spoon feeding table salt to an ungrateful 5-year-old. So, yeah, like, them dinners probably pretty difficult to sit through. Family dinners.
So she kind of gives the game away later on, but we'll get into that. Then we jump over to, I think this is Egghead Island still. But Stussy and Egghead are, talking to Kuma. Kuma's going through his studies or his transformation. And
it seems like much like how, now this isn't explicitly said, or if it was, I missed it. But just like how Bonney has a handler, a CP agent handler that's like, hey, like, look, I'm your nurse. Like, he also has another CP agent handler. Sentomaru is Vegapunk's bodyguard. Like, Kizaru is watching over Vegapunk. But somebody's got to keep tabs on Kuma, and that's what Bonnie's doing. Sure. Which is incredible. Not Bonney, Stussy. Yeah. That's what Stussy's doing. And that's incredible because Stussy is a clone created by Mads. So we'll see how all that works out.
So we do see Vegapunk messing with some green liquid. We later know that the Seraphim have green blood. I wonder if he's... Like, is this coming straight out of Kuma? Is this, like, right after a couple additives? Like, I think we've seen Kuma bleed before. It's red, I thought.
Yeah, Kuma doesn't have green blood, but I remember he's trying to make super soldiers at the same time.
Sure.
He's doing both at the same time. So he's like, well, Kuma, you're sitting here while your diagnostics are running. I guess I'll work on this. You know what I mean? Busy guy. But, hey, he needs more hands. All right, so.
That's true. But that also means in the next 3 years, that's how quickly he advanced. Because we're seeing him 3 years ago. He has no 6 satellites. That also puts a real big hamper into my Eustace Kid is one of the satellites, unless he was one of the original ones.
Yeah, I am an advocate.
Okay, I'm off of that.
I still wish he was, because everything uses is punk, and we're like, okay, we thought it was punk rock, but it's not, bro. There's so much punk shit. But maybe they're just from the same place. Maybe he's a hero because they're from the same island.
But then we're back on Sorbet Kingdom. It's Bonnie's birthday, so big pizza, big party, the whole nine. Which Very sad though because everyone's asleep and Bonnie, the person that Bonnie wants to be here the most, isn't, and so she keeps checking for letters. Even though it's the middle of the night, news coos can sleep too.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Yeah, I guess not in this job.
But
you want to sleep? You be a fisherman, all right? You can be a fishing coup, all right? You a news coup. Get the fuck to work.
And then this is when Alpha drops the news that, like, Bonnie, even though you're cured, you're still a hostage. We still need to hold you, which doesn't make sense to Bonnie because this is when her dad's supposed to be home. But then this is kind of when they develop the idea of Bonnie's gonna go out as the Dowager Queen, or the Mother Dowager.
Yeah,
what's her name? Connie.
Connie. Yeah, that's basically
Connie.
Bonnie's mom's mom, like the old queen's mom. So she ain't the queen anymore, but she's like Cersei from Game of Thrones. Used to make a lot of Game of Thrones references when I was watching this when we first made the channel. It's been a while, but Alpha
gave the game away.
Yeah, she grabbed Bonnie by the arm and like squeezed. Like, I think everybody's grabbed a kid's arm and then you're like, oh shit, is that like, oh my bad, like I guess that I don't think about it like that, but no, she straight up was grabbing, trying to crush the kid's arm. Like, yeah, no, you listen to me still. Like, just because you're cured, this ain't all fun and games and stuff. And so Bonnie is definitely, she's gonna have a secret animosity attack waiting for her. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
And like, how dare Alpha overlooking that this village is gonna look after Bonnie, because like she's given the game away in a bar drunk. She's like, oh, she's actually totally cured. It's like they all look at each other like, I'm sorry, like, bro, we're best friends with Bonnie. Of course we're gonna go tell her.
Like, do you know how much we owe? Do you know how much we owe this family? Like, do you?
I'm sorry. Do you know who Kuma was to this village? Like, you stupid. But
yeah,
she passes her looking as the Mother Dowager, and
yeah, she looks like and Connie gives her the hat. That's where she gets the hat.
Yeah.
Connie's like, hey, like, we know this is all like, hey, we got your back. You're gonna go find your dad. There's a crew of pirates out here. People are afraid of them. They may be goofy bar workers here, but fishermen, but they a threat. So they're gonna be the Bonney pirates now. You go hang out with them. You guys go find your dad. Age up, look like me. We're gonna trick the lady. It's gonna be a perfect plan. Bulletproof.
But they forget she's a CP9 agent or CP something, and she's stronger than the everyday person. So she's able to skywalk and she's able to catch up. But you also forget who Bonney is, and she gets reminded pretty quickly because Bonney remembers that her dad was like, hey, there used to be this awesome guy named Nika. He fought how he wanted. His body was like rubber. And she goes full gear third here. Is what maybe what I remember as gear third. Maybe it was gear second.
No,
gear second.
Gear second's where he pumps blood, he turns pink. Gear third's where he uses the giant ones. But that's just what Luffy calls them. That's like, they're literally no named abilities.
Yeah, fair enough.
But as we were saying, like, Alpha chases her on. Like, this is where you actually get to see Alpha use some of her CP abilities. So you see how quick she is. You see that she can do the airwalk. You see that she is formidable. She has the whole crew actually frightened when she starts to attack. She's like, oh, they're all like, oh, okay, well, this is gonna be shit. This is gonna be a lot tougher than we thought. Yeah, like you said, like fucking that Nika shit. She thought about that.
One shot.
She one shots her, and she uses like the fucking giant like elephant gun, basically Luffy's elephant gun. She ages up to the Bonney we know now. She one shots her with the elephant gun because he thinks about all the things her dad said, and that is the. I don't think that kills her, but that's the last we hear of Alpha.
No, I mean, definitely. Look,
she ain't got a double.
There's no way.
Okay.
I don't think she's a CP agent anymore. Let's just say that. Like
Yeah.
that's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You report into Saturn and you say you lost a child. The only hostage that's
See,
in the way of us having the best army we could ever have.
I don't think I think only CP0 reports to Saturn. I think CP9 and
Okay.
lower, they all report to like normal hierarchy of Marines.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Either way, like going back to like, I would
You
think,
telling Sengoku this?
I would say this goes up to Sengoku, like Sword, the CP agents, everything gets filtered to Sengoku. That's why he's always deleting paperwork and feeding it to the GOAT, because this is all top secret information. Ain't nobody supposed to know. But yeah, Bonney flashback. Done.
Yeah, I mean we're basically done with that. I do believe so. So we're on to, well, I think Kuma's next week, like finishing that out. I'll have to go back and read, but we should be back at Egghead very soon. And
No, we are because we have to look at all these things from different perspectives, and we have to recap all this stuff for context. Remember, this is all 6-month time break, or 6-month break in real world, and then we come back and it's like a Bonney flashback and stuff. So Kuma has been on his way for a while. We do have to do the flashback from his perspective. So when he does do that punch, like he actually lands that like decapitating hit, not decapitating, destabilizing, debilitating, I don't know what word I'm looking for. When he punches Saturn, it actually has that like full like fucking scale of emotion, I guess, that's supposed to come with it. I think that's how the episode's gonna end, with the punch.
oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be like he's either going to appear at the end of the episode rushing Kim. Actually, yeah, that's how it is. He's gonna show up, and I think he's gonna punch him at the very end.
And hey, I like it because then that means we're a couple episodes away from getting full Yonko or yokai forms from all of the.
I'm ready to get back to the fights. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the fights, man.
And that is one of the things for me, is that is what the anime gives me that I don't already have. So it's like I want to see the fights animated, but don't get me wrong. There's little things that Bonney did this episode that I'm like, that animated was pretty cool too.
And it gives
It
more
wasn't
context.
just a fight. Yeah. Yes. Very true. Very true. But we had a recent update with the Man-Mayor family, how Gunko is now part of the Man-Mayor family. And it's like the volumes give more context than the weekly releases give. And then does this give even more context than the volumes? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, how many layers of like filtered information are we getting? But yeah, that is episode.
Is this canon?
Yeah. Well, what parts of these are canon? Because it's like they also like fill out these episodes by panning and stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
But that's the episode, yo. We will be back for the next review. If you like other One Piece content, that's what we got. So check that out, and we will be back next time.
Peace.